Hi, this is Dr. Ben Morrill. Welcome to episode 79 of Reptile Genetics Weekly. Glad to have you here with us. And been 4 weeks straight going here, there, and everywhere, but it's been a lot of fun. It's been really nice to see so many people again and to meet a lot of you for the first time. And some of you have tagged me in pictures we got together. Thanks for doing that, and I've shared them, so we got those on our social media as well. But yeah, it was definitely lots of fun. We'll talk more about that, specifically with Tinley being this last weekend. We'll kind of recap some of that. But as far as updates, we have fast tests going out pretty much every day. We have usually, once we receive it, you have a 1 to 2 day turnaround and have those results. Very thankful that's still going smooth. And then the sex determination in most cases will be like twice a week we do those, so you have like a 3 to 5 day turnaround in most cases. And then we also have panel tests that went out last week, and so it'll be probably a week and a half to 2.5 weeks before we do the next batch of panels. And I'll obviously keep you updated on here when we have more of those coming out, but it won't be too long. And then yeah, we'll have lots more research stuff going on too. So each one of those panel runs, we get more research data as well. So pretty excited about that. Lots of good stuff coming. But yeah, that's what I have for updates. Kayla, how are you doing?
Hey Ben, I'm doing well. I am. I'm glad you're having a chance to just decompress this week after a lot of
Yes,
travel. But
I'm,
sounds like it was definitely a lot of fun.
I'm not
Uh,
used to travel, so I'm still still building up my power meter
that's
um,
fair.
from traveling so much. But my voice has gone a little bit from talking so much for so long, but
That's how it
yeah,
goes. That's how it
definitely.
goes.
At least I don't feel sick anymore. For about a week and a half there, I felt sick. Now I
All right.
don't think.
Yeah. Well, good stuff. So let's knock out some business stuff. Just as a reminder to everybody, if you're, if you can do like an a la carte style shed tests, both on Clutch and Morph Market. So if you got your ball pythons that you want to test, you can choose bundles or build your own, depending on which partner you use. And it's basically just like if you want to test more, if you want to test a bunch of mutations but don't want to do a full panel, you can do this. And it doesn't have to be from one complex. Like you can pick and choose depending on what projects you have going on, and it saves you money by doing so. So I just wanted to make sure you guys were aware of that. So definitely take advantage of those bundles. They're useful. They are up on both of our partners and have been for a couple of months now. So definitely worth taking advantage of.
Very thankful that they're both able to get those programmed and available. That's a really good. It's nice to have the Yellow Belly complex and Blue Eyed Lucy complex, but like Kayla said, with this you can do 3 or 4 or 5, and they can be any test. It can be a brand new test, and then
Mm-hmm.
these are all done as fast tests, so you get your results back in 1 to 2 days after we get them in Texas and once they arrive. So yeah,
Oh
it's
yeah.
very nice. And then, like we've talked about in past weeks, if you are doing so, that's multiple tests on one sample. But if you're doing a whole bunch of samples, or even better, if you're doing a bunch of tests on a bunch of samples, if you send an email to raregeninc@gmail.com, then Sean will give you a customized quote for specifically what you want, and you can ask him questions there if you're wondering, what's maybe the best way to do it. But it's completely fine to prepay ahead if plan on getting 50 or 60 babies that you'll probably need to test over the next year or whatever. It's fine to do that and get a discount up front, and then just send them in as they hatch and shed.
Yep. Exactly. Um, and so as far as well, okay, here's like a primer to one of the updates that has been kind of something we've been chasing for a little bit. And that is, well, to preface that, we'll show you a clutch that someone's been hatching out. In this case, it's Randy Bush Reptiles. He's a fireman and slash EMT, and you can kind of see that in his logo. Um, and he sent us a bunch of pictures of this clutch. So it says there are 4 babies post shed, which you'll see in a second. One still in the egg. The project started 3 years ago when I bought a het male from Matt Byram that Dave Green produced. I bred home to many girls to produce 50% hets, grew them up, now proving them out. This was our first 50% het girl to go, and the pairing was a pastel calico het Monsoon to a firefly yellow belly 50% het Monsoon. And that very first egg that pipped was a visual Monsoon.
Hallelujah.
Oh, nice.
And Randy's been very, very good about sending a message. I think he calls it his monthly or bi-monthly Monsoon message. He's been sending me for like a year and a half now. Like,
yes,
many of you that have been waiting, but Randy, I definitely appreciate knowing you're thinking about it. And sorry we didn't make it in time to help prove out this girl. And I was hoping by the time Tinley came, I could say, when I saw this clutch from Randy, I'd be able to say, okay, hopefully this is the last one someone has to do the old-fashioned way.
Yeah.
And you'll be able to test from now on. But we've been working. I've been working with people in Canada and Europe, and Charlie that's here in the United States as well, trying to finish up the Monsoon test because everybody would love to have it all over. And we thought as of middle to end of last week, we thought that we finally had it. But in the end, we had over 200 tests that we ran, and 3 of them were incorrect. So it's like 98% accurate. It's extremely good test, but we do know that our kind of line threshold that we've drawn for a new test is to be above 99% accurate. And this one isn't quite there yet, so we're still working on it. So as many of you I talked to at the show that asked the question, unfortunately, still not there. Whether we get it this week or next week, or if it takes another month, I still don't know. I just know we have an amazingly good test, but it's just not quite good enough to have available for breeders. But we're definitely all trying really hard to figure out. We must be very, very close. So we're all trying to figure out, move around, look around close to where we are, see if we can find the actual mutation and finally get this done. We're working on it.
Yeah, I know at this point it's basically it's essentially an international effort to find the Monsoon test at this point. And I know at Rare Genetics we've been trying to get it for probably since like March or April, I think. Something like that.
It's been like a year and a half. Yeah, it's been like March or April, like a year ago.
Oh, so yeah. Do you have
gone through? I think we've gone through 4 cycling. So we'll do a whole bunch of sequencing. We'll analyze. We'll find potential targets, and then I design things and test for them. We've gone through that 4 times with Monsoon and Monarch and GCR/MJ. Like, all of those have been very difficult to nail down. And so yeah, we've looked at it many times, spent a lot of money and time. Hopefully we're on the home stretch. Hopefully we'll get it in less than 2 years.
I would hope so. I mean, I know as we learned, like with the Desert Ghost saga, as we had, like sometimes, you'll get markers that seem pretty good for a bit and then something else is going on. And then you actually get a reliable test. So 98% is really good, but it's probably just a nearby gene that tends to travel with Monsoon, but is not the Monsoon mutation. So is that like your leading theory for what's going on, or do you think there's anything else at play genetically?
Definitely could be that. Yeah, that is most likely the case. That what's going on. There's other things that could be, but I think the most likely explanation is we just don't have quite the right mutation yet. We've just got to move a little. It even could be in the same gene we're in and just a different part. But all we know for sure is this is not the right one quite yet.
Man, well, fingers crossed for next time, because it's a gorgeous morph, and I know I would. Well, I know lots of people would definitely love to see that, especially Randy here, who has other 50% het Monsoon girls to prove out. So we'll see. But all right, thanks for the update on Monsoon stuff. So tell us about Tinley. You just went to the Tinley Park Reptile Expo this weekend.
Yeah, it was really good. Went really well. Was lots of fun.
Mm-hmm.
The picture there is me flying in. I flew in Friday night, and it was a really cool, bright coastline there. It was pretty
Oh
cool.
yeah.
And then on Saturday, when I finally made it there, I got there later than I usually have in the past. But right after I walked in the door, I saw Dustin and his girlfriend Haley. So there's people from Virginia. I don't know if you can see. I guess it doesn't show the whole thing, but that's a US ARC shirt that says
Yeah.
is for reptiles. So
Yes, I love
it's
it.
a US ARC Virginia shirt that Dave Dunn from Ball and Hand Reptiles designed, and I still need to send him money. I'm gonna get one too, so I can wear it to shows. Also, it's nice to have a Virginia representation at these internet or these national or international shows. So
Oh yeah, I want to get one of those too.
yeah. So Brian was on here talking about chocolates.
Yeah.
Got to meet his wife. I'm pretty sure I've seen her before, but got to talk with her. And
Yeah.
got Randy from Dark Cloud Reptiles and Donald Grinstead from Get Morph BPs.
Mm-hmm.
They're from California and Arizona. So
Yeah.
to be able to catch up with them again, talk with them.
That's awesome. I like the Crocs over here on
Yeah.
the right.
Oh yeah, nice and bright.
I can't tell what charms he has on there, but they're probably reptile related. That would be appropriate, you know.
Should be.
Let's see, and all the purples, Leviathan snakes, John Chausmer.
Yeah. So the really nice thing, Stephen and Courtney were willing to let me tell people that they could bring sheds to their booth because I was just
Oh.
around. We didn't have a booth this time, so as I was walking around, I saw some people and got sheds handed to me, but some people I didn't get to see,
Mm-hmm.
and they took sheds to Leviathan's table. So thanks, Stephen and Courtney, for collecting those, and looked like they were having a lot of fun and had a really good show, which is great. I just saw a post from them, and many of you probably saw it too, but they did even crazier stuff than me. Over the last 5 weeks, they've gone to 5 reptile shows, and one of them
Woo!
Stephen went to was in Canada, and so
Oh man.
they like split up. Courtney went to one show. I think that was the same weekend as Bob's show in Atlanta, if I remember right. I might have that wrong, but anyway, they like split and went to different shows. We're both at a different show that weekend, and
Wow.
definitely crazy. And then they're in South Carolina, so they also got hit by the bad storm. And
Oh,
he
that's
said that,
right.
yeah, where they live, that it just looks like a massacre. There's just all these downed trees that they're still working on cleaning up, but
Oh
they
man.
did. They lost power for 4 days and just
Oh.
barely got their internet up, like right before they left to go to Tinley. So
Wow.
definitely crazy. I'm sure lots of other people have crazy stories too. That storm, I mean, especially to hit people so far away from the coast as bad as it did, it's such a strange storm. And then we have another one come in not long after that.
I
It's
know.
pretty
Thankfully,
rough.
that one wasn't quite as bad, but
Yeah.
still.
Yeah. I was worried we wouldn't see many Florida breeders, but there still
Mhm.
were people there from Florida at their tables. So was glad to see that. They're probably happy to leave the craziness in Florida for a weekend and
Oh,
think
I'm
about
sure.
it instead of cleanup.
Mhm.
But yeah, and then probably the person that sent the most sheds over the last 2 or 3 months so the person that's probably sent the most sheds in over the last few months is John on the right there. And I know he said we said it mostly right on the show. Chausmer.
I think Chausmer, yeah.
Chausmer. Yeah. So hopefully we're getting that right, John.
You can yell at us in the comments if we got it wrong.
But it was very cool to meet him. I told him a very sincere thank you. I think he sent
Oh,
at least 4 or 5, pretty big packets that were filled with sheds.
awesome.
So we've got a lot of really good. I think they're mostly boa sheds. But yeah, just
Ooh.
Thank you so much. We really appreciate that. We are starting to move to other species. I am starting to analyze sequences from other species right now, and so over the next month or two or three, we should be able to have some cool announcements from stuff other than ball pythons. Which, we love ball pythons, but it's going to be exciting to be able to spread that to some of the other species that we all keep and love and are interesting and
Mm-hmm.
cool. So
Awesome.
definitely, thank you. And Rich Crowley there in the middle or on the left side, he also is sent blood python sheds, short tail sheds.
Ooh,
We got
cool.
to him, and he's also wrote a book about short tails and bloods. So
Oh,
we should.
nice.
I know a fair amount about all of the mutations in ball pythons, but as I move outside of that to colubrids and to bloods and retics and berms, that's stuff I got to learn. I bought a book at the Colubrid Fest on corn snake morphs, and so this gave me a chance to get one on blood morphs, and
Nice.
so yeah, it was nice to meet him in person. I've seen pictures of his animals for many years, and
Oh, yeah.
I think I had two or three bloods for probably about a year. Ended up
Mhm.
trading them and getting something else, but they are really cool. Really, just that thick body is just so impressive.
I love their faces too. Like
Yeah.
on like just they just have such nice shaped heads and like cool little snoots. I think they're adorable and I don't know, so just a really distinguished face. I have loved that about short tails ever since I first found out about them.
Oh yeah.
So like if I ever get a python and I want like a big boy, it's probably going to be a blood python, I think. Um that is if I don't fall in love with the ball python and be like, "Oh man, time for a ball python." Um
Those
both
are
of
cool too.
there's a non-zero chance of either one, so it happens.
You go to enough reptile shows, you'll get sucked in.
Oh, I know. Yeah. um but yeah, and there's Lion Exotics who we've had on the
Yep.
show before, I think
Yeah.
recently.
Got to meet Becky in person and her
Awesome.
talk with them. They're coming in from Alabama. That was very cool. I got to actually stay for about a week in the same town, just right near Tuscaloosa. So yeah,
Oh, that's
cool to
awesome.
talk a little bit with them
Yeah.
and see their cool Wookiee combos.
Yes.
Yeah, and then Chris Hernan, and the next picture is with Wes for Muscles and Geeks. So with
Mhm.
both of them, they have lots of really, really nice, clean orange animals. And the other person in that picture, and they'll have to correct me if I'm wrong. If I remember right, his name's Michael. But anyway, I learned at the show he's been pretty much lifelong friends, like since they were teenagers with Wes,
Oh.
and he goes to shows with them and breeds and stuff. And but anyway, yeah, you guys will have to let me know if I got your name wrong. Sorry, but I think it was. But anyway, so they had booths right next to each other, but they've got a lot of the high OD stuff going.
Ooh.
So a
They're
lot of the
unbelievable
sheds,
high ODs too. They're so pretty.
yeah, that's for sure. So a lot of the sheds that we have that we're working with for the high OD project we're working on come from Wes and from Chris.
Nice.
Yeah, I got to see a lot of the just super clean, nice, bright orange animals they both have. And then Chris also had a dark matter project. I should have gotten a picture with that animal or some of
Oh.
those animals too, but
Mhm.
it's similar to a gray matter. And they don't know for sure what else it has. They think it at least has blackhead on top of it, but it is like jet black, like
Um
really cool. And then it's just got some white on its side since there's some champagne in there. Oh
There you
yeah,
go. Here's a first picture I was able to pull up online. It's just a Reddit post that says, "I need one. Here's
yeah,
a dark matter ball python," and
yep,
that's cool.
yep. That's exactly what he's got, and
Oh
they're
man.
just jet black, and then completely white bellies, and then like a very faint eye stripe, and that's pretty much it. And they're like iridescent black, and Chris held it up to my black shirt. He's like, "Yeah, it's even more black than your shirt is."
Oh
they're
man.
they're cool animals. And there's someone else there that thought they had a blackhead gray matter, which would make it the black matter, but it
Yeah.
was significantly lighter. It was like a very dark gray, whereas the ones Chris has and these ones from Superior Scales, I mean, they
Mhm.
are black.
Oh, pretty. Yeah, no, I bet the
Don't know if,
iridescence is unreal.
yeah, I don't know if there's something else. They don't know if there's something else there as well. But I mean, it is a really cool animal.
Yeah.
But yeah, with the OD project, lots of people have asked with the high OD, and got to talk with Chris and Wes about it again.
Mhm.
Um, the best thing I can say, the most likely explanation of what's going on is that high OD, there's likely a second mutation fairly close by, so that most of the time traveling with the ones that are a high OD, those offspring, about half the offspring are going to end up being high ODs also, and those kind of travel together. What we don't know is if you could get that second mutation by itself, so it's that, essentially that brightening gene that makes OD so much better. Maybe you can't see that in other combos, or maybe it is so close that they always travel together, but it does seem that it is not just like OD and high OD are two different mutations. It seems like when you have a high OD, you have that OD mutation, but there's something else that's close by that usually travels with it. And so
Mhm.
that's going to be a more complicated project. I know Wes and Chris get questions all the time, and I do too. And
Yeah.
unfortunately, it's just a little bit more complicated problem to solve. It's going to take some time, but we definitely are working on it, and pretty excited to figure that out. We hope to have a test eventually where we'll be able to tell you if it's a high OD or super high OD, as well as just a normal OD. So we're
Mhm.
working on it, and it was really cool to see the beautiful animals both of them have. Just super bright, super clean, really, really awesome animals.
Oh yeah. And if you got any of those high OD animals, or honestly, if you got anything at Tinley, definitely feel free to tag us and be like, hey, look at this. Um,
Yeah.
but also, I noticed that at least twice in this episode so far, we've already used the term travels, like this another a second mutation traveling with another one. If you are kind of confused by that, I know we've talked about it in previous episodes, but if you'd ever like us to just have like a short and sweet, visual, like here's what we mean by this gene travels with this, and how that mechanism works genetically, definitely let us know in the comments if that's something you'd be interested in the future. The next thing that you're going to, Ben, I believe, is in 2 weeks. So I think on October 26th. Let me make sure I've got the right date. Yep, the 26th. You're going up to Kenova, or I guess down to Kenova because they're in Georgia, right?
Yep.
Yeah.
Go
Awesome.
to the Kenova facility there. I'm excited to see that. It's a beautiful facility, and I'm so thankful. I completely understand some breeders and keepers don't feel comfortable having other people come to their facility. They keep that, private and safe, and I completely understand that, and makes me even more thankful for, breeders that do feel comfortable allowing other people in. And Justin, the people at Kenova have been very, very cool about having visitors come through. So I know many people have had the opportunity, and it's just a very excellent example of what a high quality reptile captive breeding facility can be. And it's just awesome to see. And he's got so many cool animals there. So I'm very excited for that. And just also, put another plug in for if there are keepers and breeders that follow and respect, and they have Patreon groups, seriously think about joining. I know that the Kenova Patreon group, this is specifically a get together for them. I think they do it once a year. But yeah, I know there's lots of other things specifically that Kenova does for the Patreon followers, and many other breeders do that as well. I'm in a chat for Leviathan Snakes. They're Patreon members, and there's lots of good conversations there. So it's a really good way to, especially if you're learning, or if you want an opportunity to be able to interact with people that are learning and kind of help and provide those opportunities to learn. And then also they get to know you and know what animals you have. It's just another way, kind of like a little deeper level than just being on social media in general. And these groups give you a little more of a specific audience that really like the things that you like. It's a really good opportunity. So yeah, I'm excited to go meet. I would imagine I'll meet several new people there as well.
That sounds awesome. Um, so so a few episodes ago, we were talking about the chocolate morph. We released a whole bunch of other morph tests as well, and this snake was amazing. So of course I put it on our thumbnail. But this snake belongs to someone that we're going to talk about next. Not the chocolate morphs, but Black Rock Balls did produce a really cool clutch recently that they sent us pictures of that we wanted to show you guys. So the pairing was an acid pastel mystic, het red axanthic, or het red,
Yep.
het red axanthic. Okay, making sure I got that right. Het genetic stripe to a pewter het G stripe, and those babies are so pretty. We got pictures of them, like they still got that fresh baby sheen straight out of the egg. And I love that, we got pictures of how little some of those eggs were. You have normal size eggs and then just this couple of itty bitty guys in there too.
Yeah. Yeah, I think it was like the small eggs were like around 60 grams and the large ones are like 120. They're like twice the weight of the smallest eggs. That's a kind of a crazy.
Oh, wow. Yes, it is. So are the larger eggs more of a normal size for ball python eggs, or I mean, I just because I'm in colubrid land, so usually we're dealing with smaller eggs.
For me, my eggs in general were like 80 to 100, maybe a little over 100 grams. So
Oh, I see.
120 is kind of big and 60 is pretty small. Not tiny,
Wow.
but pretty small.
Huh. How about that?
Yeah.
However, it didn't seem to affect the hatchlings as far as we can tell. You can see, normal size baby on the left. Then you have one of the biggest babies from the biggest eggs and a little guy from one of the 60-gram eggs on the right there.
Yeah.
But they all look really, really good. I love the acid in there, creating those crazy patterns. Beautiful babies. And this guy too. Really cool.
Oh yeah, that's a nice one.
Mm-hmm.
I think that was his last one that came out of the egg that he sent a picture. I think he still has one more in the egg from that clutch, but
yeah. And I think this was the most recent one that we got, which I love the little white snoot on this guy. He's cute.
Yeah, and just having dark genes with pewter is cool, and then you add the acid in there, and you get some funky stuff.
For sure. Well, yeah, really cool stuff. And I love seeing when we get when people send us pictures of their clutches. It's really fun to highlight those on the show.
Yeah. Feel free to send us more.
Yeah. Let's see. So we do have a shed donor shout out this week, and that is to ECW Reptiles, representing a little bit of the colubrid world here, since these guys have been doing as you can see, corn snakes and more since 1994. For longer than I've been alive. 1 year longer than I've been alive. But
and the very cool thing they did was I met them at Colubrid Fest and let them know that many people have requested us to come up with a test for Stargazer, because that's a morph in corn snakes that's deleterious. It's not something that you want. They're animals that have like kind of like a neurological problem, and so ECW, since they've been working with corns for so long, they had ways to be able to get sheds from animals that are either Stargazer or known from Stargazer line, and that way we'll work on it, hopefully be able to design a test, and that way people that want to check their breeding stock and make sure they don't have that, they don't have to do a test breeding and see if they make a Stargazer. Instead, they can just send a shed in and just be able to find out for sure whether they have that in their collection at all. So I was very thankful they were willing to do that, and they collected some others for us as well. But those Stargazer sheds are going to be really helpful, and hopefully we can find that and make a test for everyone so they can rule that out.
Definitely. I've seen stargazer corns before, and it's basically just like a corkscrewing, well, stargazing, looking up, and it's definitely harder for the animal to do what it needs to do, eat, climb, especially with corn snakes. They do enjoy a good climb as rat snakes, and that makes it harder on them. So even though I know Kathy Love, I think, was the one who was able to determine that Stargazer is its own mutation and isn't attached to others. Kind of like like neurological, usually lesser neurological issues in like some ball python morphs. In Stargazer, it's definitely a lot worse, or can be. So I'm very excited that we can use this for hopefully to help out, help remove the stargaze, help people weed out stargazing from their collections. We did meet him at Colubrid Fest. Pulled a couple of these pictures from his Instagram. I don't know the context of the one on the left, but I like it. It has good energy.
Great color too.
Yes, it does. I think I don't know what morph that corn snake is though, but I love it. And I love the little spicy baby on the right side there. And here are just a few of their listings online. They have corn snakes of all pretty colors. They've got ball pythons, and they also have Pituophis and Lamprepeltis, all kinds of good stuff. I think there's definitely a little something for everybody. So good people, and sending us lots of good sheds, and we're really, really grateful to have them here as one of our shed donor shout outs. So if you want links to their stuff, it'll be in the description. And yeah, I think that's kind of all we have for today, Ben.
Yep, I think so.
Awesome. Well, everybody make sure you like and subscribe, comment. That tells the YouTube algorithm that we're cute and that, more people should see our stuff. So be sure to do that. Tag us if you've picked up anything cool at a show recently, or if there are any genes that you're interested in seeing, maybe something similar to what the Stargazer gene does, or something like that. And of course, send in sheds. There is a link in the description for that as well, how you can help us develop future tests. So,
and I guess I will throw in there, I don't remember if we've talked about it, but next month, Sean will be going to the St. Louis show. So any of you that plan to be at the St. Louis show, give us a shout in the comments too, and let us know you'll be there, and Sean will be able to meet up and say hi to y'all.
Definitely. Sean's fun to talk with. So definitely worth going to meet him if you're going to be in St. Louis, or St. Louis. I don't know how the locals say it. But either way, we'll be there. So thanks, guys. And I guess we'll call that a wrap. So see you guys next week. Outro in 3, 2, 1.